So,
I thought you were gonna use web because you had a white gi on.
no.
Well, maybe I will. Yeah, I'll use it.
So,
Hey, you should have been
the
here
thing I
yesterday.
noticed
Can you do that one more time?
is that whenever Travis passes my guard, which without lapels is fairly easy for him to do, he gets me in a side control. Okay.
The thing I noticed is that it should be devastating from here because his pressure is horrible. However, it can be optimized with a couple of things. Side control is head control, and whenever the knees are here, it creates this bridge because oftentimes the arms are on the mat. What I would love for Travis to try is to roll the hips and control the head right here, because the primary pressure is the belly button and the core. For wrestlers, oftentimes it's the chest and the head, but the chest here is light. If Webb frames my head and turns, it's fairly easy for him to push me off. Not that Travis does that, but he's here. If he applied this and this and this, and always taking this head offline with hands off, with your head up, because it engages your core. And then you're basically gonna sprawl in a circle. So for me, this is a standard cross-face here. And the head offline is horrible for the person on the bottom, especially when you pick it up off the mat. Because for them to actually move, they have to be able to realign their neck and the rest of their spine. So you go from one cross-face to the reverse, and then this hand blocks as you go roll. And you see how you roll that face head? And then, sorry, Rob. You're good. And you roll this way. You roll this way. Okay? You can walk all the way around if you need to. But what I suggest is, instead of side control, which is the closest position to a half guard, I think that it's optimal to get to an angled north-south. As you roll the hips here, block the hip here, okay? You can control his head here, okay? And you can roll their head. If they can't turn their head, it's very difficult to recover much. Walk your feet to the left with, okay? Simultaneously, as I'm just jamming the hip on the right side with like a door jam, my left hand jams this arm here. Because what happens is that that arm gets compromised. And as you can begin to straighten it out, you're able to begin to lock it up for a straight arm lock. Or if he bends it and rotates his hand the other way, you already have a kimura with the leg over and you can torque it. But most important is to roll the hips so that whenever you walk to north-south, you don't go with the knees here. You're hooking the head, framing the head, and you roll. Careful. Here, and you slide over that. Oops, sorry. You're good. I'm getting a little excited here. And you're jamming the hip, okay? And I'm jamming this arm right here so that my head is off the mat. I mean, meaning that my hands are off the mat and my head is up. If I bow my head down, it creates a bow and it alleviates the pressure versus here. Even here, I feel I'm a little bit low, push myself up. And I want to grind across their face, and I'll do it slowly as my hips drop. I go to the other side, drop, and the whole time I'm controlling the rotation of the head until I can regain control. With an underhook, I go the other way now. This way, frame, I need to push myself up, roll the hip here, roll the hip, roll it. I'm being nice to Webb here, okay? And you can move around. So that ultimately, you get into the angled north-south. From here, it's very difficult for them. Obviously, they're not going to put you back in a half guard. They're not going to recover guard, and they have to kind of scramble here. They can't really frame your head, and you can really begin to get their hands out of position here, whether with the head here, you can begin to bring it over, catch it. But most important of all, you grind them down and you wear them out so that we can go to the next situation, which is pulling out the lapels, feeding the lapels underneath, okay? Travis likes to do this right here, but I want him to roll the hip now here with this devastating crossface as he's gonna pull out this lapel here and feed it to this hand, okay? And potentially go under here and then just frame it here.
Okay, but first, let's roll the hips, okay? Is it 1, 2, 3? Okay.